This whole thing, though, with Justin Jefferson, it kind of brings us to some broader questions about the Minnesota Vikings, because right now they're 1-4 and will be without Jefferson for at least those next 4 games, as Ian mentioned. But here's the schedule that they have in front of them: a couple division games against the Bears and Packers, plus the undefeated Niners and the Falcons. So just to add another layer to Minnesota's underwhelming start, their quarterback is in the final year of his contract. So should the Vikings consider trading Kirk Cousins at this point? And where could he go, Jason?
I think that has to be in consideration at this point. They went into this season, they didn't give him a contract extension, so we went in and the expectation was they might draft a guy and let him wait. They didn't do that. So now the season has started the way it has. They're 1-4. You're looking at next year, unless they're already saying, hey, we definitely want Kirk Cousins back. Jefferson going down, it sets the table to say, all right, with Kirk Cousins, can we maybe get an opportunity to trade him away, play another guy, have an opportunity where we may end up with a high draft pick that we maybe replace him with a guy in the draft, or we're forced to go out and get somebody. I look at this for Kirk Cousins as an opportunity. It's easy to say just trade him away, but the thing is for Cousins, he has no trade clause. So if we are trading him away, he has to be on board with wherever he's going. So I look around the league, and I'm looking at maybe a team like Washington. For Kirk Cousins, it'd be full circle, him going back to a place where he started out from. So it might be a place that him and the family are okay with going to. But I think beyond that, you look at what they have on offense. If I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm willing to say okay to a trade. I'm not just going anywhere. Well, now I have to run the whole thing myself. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Brian Robinson in the backfield. You actually have weapons to be able to distribute the ball to, and it's a familiar place. So you're going somewhere where you may have the next few years. And you ask about Sam Howell. He's on a rookie contract. He would have an opportunity to learn from somebody like Kirk Cousins. He still could possibly be the quarterback of the future. So I'm looking at Washington. I know the Jets as a team that everybody talks about. But from Kirk Cousins, do I really want to go somewhere where I'm playing for a year and my future with that team is contingent on if Aaron Rodgers decides he wants to come back and play? From Kirk, I want to go somewhere where I feel like I can be there for the next few years and I'm going to be the guy.
The answer to the question is absolutely they should consider it. And of course, we want to keep playing this game. It's fun to play this game. We just throw out
landing spots.
So you name a couple. Here's some that I'm seeing. And if you just Google, if you search, if you listen, or even if you just consider the teams.
Yeah.
Steelers, I can't see it in a million years. No, I don't think they do business that way, and Pickett is Pickett. I saw the Titans. The Titans quarterback room is already so interesting and so weird and complicated, and they've got all these young guys that haven't really gotten a chance yet. I saw the Patriots. I can't imagine it. I just can't imagine Belichick.
Kirk want to go there?
Well, that's the second part of it. The Jets thing, Peter turned me on to this. I think they don't want to do that, even if it makes sense, because they don't want to ruffle Rodgers' feathers. And maybe Rodgers rolls with it, but I think they're all in for 2024. I think the whole season is we're getting Aaron back in 2024, and we're just going to go. I don't know if Rodgers and Cousins are best friends. I have no idea. They used to be division rivals. I don't think they're going to do it. The only one's interested in me is Atlanta. Because, all right, so Atlanta. Now, dome, soft schedule, money, but on the personal front, okay, you want to get into it? This is what we do.
You got some familial ties?
Oh, I love this.
All right, so Kirk's wife, Julie, is from Georgia. Kirk and Julie were married in Georgia. They spend a lot of time in the offseason in Florida, which is right there. Money, weapons, dome, family. That's the one that, for the no trade clause part of it, fits to me.
I like that.
You have an offensive head coach in Arthur Smith who seems to be no BS. If we're going to play this spin the wheel of teams thing, the only one that lines up at all for me is Atlanta. But Kirk might as well be like, I'm not going anywhere, guys. Family's here. I'm going to get paid out for this season. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to be a free agent, and I'm going to cash the hell in, and that's what I do. So Atlanta maybe, Peter, but other than that, I don't have it.
Okay, so you guys have all hit on amazing points, and the no trade clause is huge. Kirk kind of controls where he wants to go.
He says no.
So you could trade him to 29 teams. If he says no, you're good. I'll throw one that's a real wild card out. First of all, I think this is still a couple more weeks to go, and I think if one of these starting quarterbacks goes down, it totally changes the conversation. And that's kind of where I'm at with this, where nothing this week, but let's see it and see if one of these, knock on wood, contending teams loses a quarterback, and they're like, well, wait, Cousins is a quick fix. That makes sense. Cousins had his best years as a pro quarterback with Kevin Stefanski as the offensive mind.
Go on.
They have all that money guaranteed to Watson.
That's tricky.
Watson's currently off the field hurt at the moment. We think he's going to play, right? We think he's going to be back. Do they say, we're not sure, for 1 year, for one half of the year as an insurance plan, does Stefanski go up to the GM, Andrew Berry, and to the owner and say, look, I know you can't put me out there with a rookie out of UCLA if Deshaun can't go. And guess what? If Deshaun's not our best option to win this AFC North right now, we're in a barn burner with these 3 other teams. Can you bring me Cousins? I know he can run my offense. Just putting it out there. This is nothing from Cleveland, obviously, and they have been so protective of the Deshaun Watson. They are very defensive of the Deshaun Watson. That is their decision. They are all in on Deshaun Watson. But if Watson's hurt, and Watson's not out there slinging it like he used to be, and Stefanski and Cousins are very tight from their time together in Minnesota, and the salary number isn't that much of a backbreaker for the Cleveland Browns, are they not all in for this season? And would that not be a suggestion that would be made?
So Watson would be demoted then, because apparently his injury's not that bad. If he comes back in a couple of weeks, he would sit behind Kirk in this hypothetical.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty tough.
It's just me. I'm not an insider in this role right now. I'm saying
I understand.
You're asking
We're
me
spinning the wheel.
Looking around.
Stefanski and him have a great relationship, and the Browns want nothing more than to win. Watson's the long-term guy, but for half a season, if we're all tied up at the AFC North and Watson isn't 100% healthy, do we at least consider Kirk Cousins?
That's a really interesting
I don't
scenario.
know if they can do it salary cap-wise. I assume there's a way to be wiggling around that, but they have so many veterans on that team, and I can't see them giving up a bunch of games with Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
To tell your fan base we're paying Watson that much, and then we're going to go get a different one and not even play him. Yeah. I mean, that would be, I think, preposterous. Yeah, I hear where you're coming from, but like you can't.
For ownership,
what do you do?
We gave Deshaun Watson all this money amongst everything that was going on, but now we're going to bring Kirk in, and you go like that. But
I like playing through all these scenarios, but
that's what we do.
It's also there's no clear cut.
Not right now.
Winner or like a target, because I like Kyle's with the Falcons. There's a lot of connections there, and that seems really nice. I mean, I obviously went right to the Jets because it is the lowest hanging fruit right there. But when you play it all out, it's like, why would you want to go somewhere with a bad offensive line? Like, and obviously Aaron Rodgers and the Jets don't even really have the assets to probably pull it off either, because what we're looking at, I guess teams could do a first round pick swap. Maybe they get like some day 2 picks, but that team actually has to have the assets to do it. And with the no trade clause, like, he has all of the power. He obviously is going to end the season if things continue this way, which I expect them kind of to, especially with Justin Jefferson out now, without a playoff season. But he has said that he wants to stay and end his career and play it all out in Minnesota. But going to a place like the Jets, if they could somehow figure it out, would, I think, still make sense, even with the Aaron Rodgers of it all, because who knows when he is actually going to be back. He could be the world's fastest healer, and he could be out listening to dolphins, and that's some type of, like, you know, the frequency of it is supposedly really healing. But I feel like there's so much uncertainty there that I don't know where he's going to end up, but I do feel like the Vikings probably should move him, and it would really behoove them to do it now.
Peter put himself out there with Cleveland, and it's Peter said, I just try out for a theory. Should we break the fourth wall? I just got a text from one of our colleagues, like a guy we respect, Andrew Siciliano, live as we're talking. He's watching.
Is he not happy?
No, he's on the contrary. He's saying that he was mentioning the Cleveland thing as well. If he's significantly injured, we don't know what it is. If it turns out to be some sort of tear or something, Siciliano's on it, and I'm bringing him in.
Look, you can't sacrifice games. Like last week, against the Ravens, you're giving the game. Like, he's a rookie out of UCLA who hasn't had the experience. You put Cousins in there, you're right in the thick of it in AFC North.
I also think, listen, what we know about Kirk and his family, a couple little kids, simple family choices. We're not moving to Jersey for 6 months.
A season?
No way. He's going to go and they're going to stay. I don't think he runs his life that way.
No?
He takes all. We saw on quarterback.
It's already Halloween. Like, he's making $35 million for a couple months. People move their jobs all the time.
Tuesday's an off day. He said he doesn't even go into the facility.
Well, then maybe I don't want him then, if that's the case. If he's saying he won't even consider moving.
That's just not this guy.
Yeah.
Already made so much money, doesn't need the money. Like, he'd rather be with the wife and kids than like.
On a 3
He wants to move the whole operation. Where he goes, they go.
Not his fault. He's leading the NFL in passing yards. You know, I mean, like, I hear what you're saying, But was he going to go to Cleveland and win the Super Bowl?
It's crazy. As crazy as the Jets are, to me, that might be the only one because we saw him talk about how bad he wants to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
If he really felt like they were a team where I can go there and the hell with what Aaron Rodgers decides this year. Yeah. But realistically, can you get to a team around Halloween, learn an offense, and lead them to the Super Bowl?
Seems like fantasy.
Like I don't really. He finishes in Minnesota this year.
With
and
all
decides
of those weapons and playmakers that the Jets have,
and then he hits free
that's
agency,
enticing.
and then
he does what he does.
He just makes a lot of money.
Gets a great contract.
Could he then sign with a free agent in Minnesota? Like if he goes to the Jets for half the year, and then it's like, you know what? Now we're going to re-sign you and come back.
I just love that Kirk has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
He has everything.
He does his
He's got it all.
I
know. At like the Coles Cash, I could see him like walking into the Jets facility, just like, maybe he takes on a whole different personality. We don't know.
Mr. Manhattan? I don't know.
Exactly.
He'd be at the Bubblegum Shrimp in Times Square, I'm telling you.